Hello and welcome to Cayman Connection's virtual yard meeting. We have virtual yard meetings every Wednesday. Our meetings are a safe space for Caymanians and those associated with the Cayman Islands to get together, talk about all things Caymanian overseas. So welcome to you all and thank you so much for coming along. This week we're really happy to have with us the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism, the London office, who are going to share with us a lot about their exciting activities and promotions of the Cayman Islands overseas. From our point of view from Cayman Connection, we particularly want to welcome you and thank you for coming along here, because for us it's just really great to see what it is you're doing and how we can get involved, how we can share what we're doing and how we can share your messages to our own friends and peers. So this is very exciting. Thank you. I'm going to pass over to you, Department of Tourism, to decide how you introduce yourselves and continue. I would also like to say, anyone, please do feel free to answer questions. We'll be monitoring the chat. You can wave your hand at any stage or put a question in the chat and we're all here. So we look forward to hearing more. I'll be letting people in as we go and let us know if you have any questions. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Kate. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to do a quick sort of introduction to the team. Let me see if that's actually moved on or not. Hold on. Here we go. I'm not sure that's moved on for you, has it? Let's see.
It hasn't yet, no.
It hasn't, right? Let me just work
out. The wonders of technology.
We can chat in the meantime, don't you worry, we're good at that. That's what we do in the yard. And also, by the way, we do have a bloopers reel for the end of the year, so don't worry about making any bloopers because it's going to be used.
Is it a donation? Do you have to donate?
Here we go. Right, we're off. So my name's Adrian White. I head up the team here for the Department of Tourism. I'm actually the newest member of the team. I started in June of 2019. So I did have a good 9 months before COVID hit, and I did manage to go over to Cayman, I think about 6 times in those 9 months. But within my team, and she is here, is the longest serving member of the team, it's Vicky, and I'll let her just introduce herself for a few seconds.
Hi, for those of you who don't know me and who haven't met me, I am Vicky, and I am the Office Administration Manager for the DOT London office and have been for a little while, the title doesn't necessarily sort of give everything, because the primary reason for every single one of us to be here in the London office is to promote the Cayman Islands as a leisure and holiday destination. So aside from just keeping the office ticking over and looking after the team that I've had the privilege to work with for over 29 years so far, I also will get involved in trade fam trips. At the moment, I do some of the dive fams. I've always attended exhibitions, and currently the next one coming up will be the October dive fam in Birmingham. So I don't know if any of you are in that neck of the woods and might want to pop along and see me at the stand in Birmingham. So I also look after the prize winners. So yes, the title is open to suggestion.
Be a long one if we pick everything you do.
Boring.
Thank you, Vicky. Yes, she's the rock of the team. Moving on, Irene, are you with us? I can't see everybody's faces.
Hi, yes, I'm here. Hi, well, my name is Irene. In reality, it's Irene because I'm originally from Spain, but it's the same name, and here it's Irene. It's easier for everyone. So as my title suggests, I work in sales. I work usually with, or mainly with, the travel agents and tour operators to help them sell the Cayman Islands as a destination. And usually, at least before the pandemic, I used to travel quite a lot as well. Not too much these days, but hopefully it will restart soon. And yeah, there are some slides about what I do a bit later on, so I won't.
Thanks, Irene.
Take much longer.
So Rich isn't with us right at the moment because I've just come off a call with him and our global team talking about our website. But we'll hopefully he'll join by the time I bring up some of his slides later. But he looks after all of our consumer marketing and our brand partnerships and whatever regionalization we do on our website. And Rose isn't with us either because she's on maternity leave, but her very capable and able maternity cover, Helen, is. So I'm going to pass over to Helen for a few seconds.
Hi, everyone. Lovely to meet you. Yeah, I'm Helen Mcnaught, and I look after the press and PR side of the activity that we do in UK and Europe. So it's very much focusing on targeting lots of different journalists, media, broadcast, and that's to consumers and also our lovely travel agents that we need to keep going with all the key messages that we've got. So it's a lovely job because I get to talk about Cayman Islands all day long to various journalists, and the idea is to obviously engage and for them to use material and key messages, and then at the end of the month we can see what reach we have in various publications or online, and we can see how far our messages have got to UK and Europe, and that's all reported back to our head office, and there's a value to that as well because it's obviously because it's editorial and it's not paid for. That's a really good value. So it's all very much about getting the message out to media, and then obviously on the social media side of things as well. So yes, it's a lovely job.
Thanks, Helen. So I'm just going to really talk about what it is that we do, and if anyone has any questions whilst we're going, then please put them into the chat, and whilst I'll be talking, my team will answer those questions for you, I hope, and if not, I'll address them at the end. But yeah, we're based at, our remit for this office is officially UK and Europe. The UK is the primary focus for us, largely because of the airlift situation. But we are working, continental Europe, and then in years to come, as we open up and get over COVID, the Middle East and China are on our radar. So technically we are the rest of the world apart from the Americas in terms of our remit. Apart from the people that you've already been introduced to, we do actually have a representation agency in Germany that looks after trade opportunities. But Irene will talk about some of those things a little bit later. And then in terms of the core sales and marketing activities, we are also very much working on the logistics as well. And discussions are very much underway with Virgin Atlantic and Eurowings from a continental Europe point of view to get additional airlift into Cayman. No promises. These are long negotiations and they take several months, years to come to fruition. But fingers crossed, Cayman is a very good proposition to them right at the moment. So there are promising talks. But we do know that we have a challenge in front of us. I'll be honest with you. Whilst we're preaching to the converted here, but awareness of Cayman in UK and Europe is really quite poor. A lot of people, when we have done focus groups, still don't know that it's even in the Caribbean, let alone anything else. So we know that there's a challenge ahead of us. But what we also know is that those people that do know and have been to Cayman absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So I used to be in hotels before, so the customer feedback, the guest satisfaction is just through the roof. So we know we have the fantastic proposition, and looking at the share of business that Brits have, this was pre-pandemic, to the Caribbean, we know that we can get market share out of a number of those destinations that you can see on that map. I'm gunning for Barbados when I talk internally, but I know because they got the biggest share of our market, but I know there is a great opportunity to take more share of the UK traveller to the Caribbean. And in terms of who are those people, well, I'll be very honest with you. It's the more affluent end, the luxury market. The age group it's largely 35 to 70 in terms of the wider scope, but probably more likely to be between the 45 and 60-year-old, if I'm being very honest with you. That's where our prime opportunity is. And what are they looking for? Well, they're looking for obviously the sun and the beach, but our biggest challenge is something called beach blur. So we have to be more than a very beautiful beach, because you can see that on advertising of a lot of our competitors, whether they're in the Caribbean or whether they are in the Maldives or the Seychelles or anywhere else with lovely beaches. So, and we also look at things slightly differently to our American colleagues who like big global brands. Our customers tend to not like them, if I'm honest with you. And it's nothing against the infrastructure of the hotel itself. It's more to do with the fact that we like to be seen as doing something unique and different. So a little bit more chic and boutique than big global brands. So our marketing has to be slightly different to our American colleagues, is effectively what I'm saying. And so just moving into exactly what does that look like? Well, we have to start getting Cayman into people's consideration set. And to do that, as I said, we can't just have pictures where it says a pretty beach, because all we're doing is selling a summer beach holiday, but not necessarily a Cayman beach holiday. So quite a lot of the opportunities that we need to take right now as a team are opportunities that allow us to tell our story, have a narrative, and actually explain more about Cayman than just the sun and the beach, which means more than just a few billboard adverts or a few print adverts. The story, especially the story that the PR team can help us with, is so important. So I call that building the foundations before painting the walls. Nike didn't do their swoosh until everybody knew that the swoosh was Nike and what they stood for. So what are those? So we have what I call content pillars, and we've taken the letters of Cayman, and these aren't campaigns. These are our content pillars that we want to sort of dial up and make people aware of what is there. So we've taken culinary, art, which is largely wellness, music, activities, and nature. And you can see the sort of the things that go behind that as well, to really dial up when we're talking to the media. On top of that, the British, making it British, especially with the Golden Diamond Jubilee next year, safety and security, as well as the sunsets and the beaches, are also obviously always there. And in terms of where that then comes to and how do we do that, well, broadcast is probably the thing that has the biggest bang. If you see it on television, then you absolutely know it's going to reach your target market and probably a lot beyond that as well. Some of the people that we're talking to right now are the guys that you can see there on the screen. So the BBC Studios and Planet Earth are very much dialing into the nature side of things. And, Made in Chelsea, A League of Their Own, Love Island may not be our perfect target market, but it's amazing how many people are watching Love Island right at the moment. I can tell you who you wouldn't consider to be your target market, but absolutely are. So it's a wide net in some of it, but when somebody else is doing the broadcasting and coming to Cayman, then it's certainly something that we will look at. And as long as it's positive and not taking a negative slant, then largely we'll go through the film commission and make it help make it happen. Equally, we want to get journalists out there to Cayman, and obviously that's been quite a struggle over the COVID times, but with the new date of October the 14th, without quarantine, we have now, well, Helen has a list of journalists that are eager to come out to Cayman and start talking about what such a great job the country has done over COVID, and equally go out there and talk about the safe, secure destination for people to come back to. And part of that is the fact that when we do these visiting journalist programs, we get so much coverage. And as you can see from this slide that Helen helped we put together from her, I think it was just January of 2020, you know, just a little bit of one visit with a handful of journalists brought out 56 million in terms of reach. So when you get it right, it absolutely works. In terms of our own content ambassadors, so this is where we actually get the people that we want to showcase our content pillars. We want people, I call them people of influence rather than influencers. They have to be famous for their day job first, but have a huge, wide appeal within Instagram, within Facebook, and within, you know, they're of interest to the media. So we have, hopefully you recognize at least one of these people, Sporty Spice. I don't think needs any introduction, but currently being seen either on tour or on Celebrity Gogglebox with her brother. Matt Tebbett, who you probably, if you watch television in the morning, probably can't miss because he's on every Saturday morning, Saturday Kitchen Live, and as the host, and also does Food Unwrapped. And then Darren Turner, who, if you are a sports car racing fan, you will absolutely know, but if you're not into it, you probably won't know. But he has already been out to Cayman, and is coming again with his family. But he races for Aston Martin and is a 3-time Le Mans winner. And he's also an Aston Martin brand ambassador. So the people that he talks to and shows the wonderful Aston Martin cars to can absolutely afford to come to Cayman. So the idea behind these is that we'll be bringing a film crew, our own film crew, to get content, to put out on social media, to put out on our website, to go out via their channels as well, to really showcase, as I said, each of the various different content pillars. So Matt will look at the culinary side of things. Mel will look at the wellness and the music, introducing talent, Cayman music talent. And Darren will look at some of the sporting activities and also some of the family activities. So just moving on, as I said, Rich is currently on a conversation right now about revamping our website, but we do look after the localized pages on our Visit Cayman website, and also the social media, which is Europe Visit Cayman Islands on the Facebook side of things. And you would have thought that last year it would have been a decline, but actually we were the odd ones out. We're on a massive increase. In Q1 of last year, 600% more traffic coming to our website. And over the whole year, that ended up still being a 10% growth in users. And on our social, we were getting more engagement and more followers. Maybe that's because more people had time to look at the web, and or maybe it's because we managed to keep, in a sense, brand building and keeping the dream alive, as it were, whilst we were all locked down. And in terms of advertising, we did have a media freeze as such. We didn't spend money on big publications or outdoor that we have done in the past. We had a few advertorials because that was in key magazines to keep us talking about Cayman. But largely that was put on hold, and we are looking, hopefully, as we open up again, to dial that up again in Q4. So this is Rich, that you hopefully will join slightly later. And this is his role: email, marketing, website, content, photo shoots, advertising, and dealing with the tactical airlines communications that go out largely through either their channels, because they're the ones that have the members, or through our own social and digital channels. And we do put money behind our social, which is targeted. You can put it down to a 5-kilometer radius if you wanted to, in terms of getting people to see your ads. The same goes with the television. We can target people on the same road, but only the people with a certain affluence, and not others, or a certain propensity to travel versus the ones that don't. So you could both be living in the same road, and you'll see one person will see our advert and the other person won't. That's how targeted things are these days. So yes, in terms of the places that we put it, it can be on the back of an airline seat through to, I guess, what I would call more traditional outlets. But if you don't see our advertising, it's probably because we weren't meant to be targeting you. And anyway, so here's just a little bit of a few of the examples that we've used over the last 18 months. And I'm actually just going to put a video on now. Hopefully it will work. Because a lot of the comms that we did during the COVID time were actually videos. And these were videos that, and you might recognize a voice right at the beginning. These were videos that we did to keep the brand alive in the digital space. We didn't spend a huge amount of money on advertising them as such, but they were promoted via our Facebook. And some of it was just about what we called, it was Monday, take a moment, relax. The Reunited, which you'll see first, is one which just set the scene at the beginning of COVID. And then I'll probably play one of our Cayman set as well, which was a little bit more upbeat as we were moving it out. It was also used for some of the staycation opportunities. But these were all produced by the UK team remotely, and largely using B-roll that we'd had in store, but recrafted. So here you go.
There are many things we dream of.
Can I just check that you can hear?
There are many things we dream of these days, but especially for everyone.
I can hear it, but I can't see it. I'm not sure I'm the only one.
I heard, but I didn't see the video.
Yes. So I can't hear it now.
Safety, peace of mind. While we may be distanced from each other, we're still able to share the human touch through acts of kindness, the offer of hope, and escape to places we will visit again. If only in our imaginations for now.
Lost the sound, Adrian.
Right where day takes the kaleidoscope of vibrant flora. Find a quiet, shaded corner and relax. Watch the sunrise.
from the Cayman Islands.
So before I go on, was the sound on that or not?
It was a bit mixed, actually.
Bit jumpy.
Bit jumpy. I'm just playing with the text, so hopefully this is the next one.
There are many things we dream of these days, but especially divide us. The seas cannot separate us. The miles, the maps, the times, they can't keep us apart. For we are bound by beauty, by light, by joy, by color, by the same luminous magnetic moon. And anytime, anywhere, we can be together again. All we have to do is dream.
There you go. That was just a few highlights. Hopefully you heard them all in the end. And thank you very much to Rita, who is a legend on the voiceover and a dream to work with. So thank you. Hopefully some of you would have also seen some of the other things that we do in terms of brand partnerships. And by working with high profile brands, and these, here are, for example, Porsche, London Irish, Gloucester Cricket Club, to name just a few, it allows us to talk to a membership base that are largely the right target market, and allows us to drip through lots of communication to tell our story. So it's just not like a one-hit wonder. I call some advertising sugar rush moments. They're very good, but they drop off straight away. Whereas partnerships last for, they're usually annual or biannual agreements. So that certainly the members that of Porsche, London Irish and Gloucester in this case are hearing quite a lot about us, and they're starting to understand what the Cayman proposition is. And just because videos, these are a bit shorter, but it's quite fun. This is some of the activation.
I'm here at a very cold cross circuit for rounds 9 and 10 of the Cayman Islands Porsche Sprint Challenge Great Britain. I'm going to be catching up with 2 guys from the Pro class and 2 guys from the Am class.
One of the championship prizes is a holiday to the Cayman Islands, so obviously we want to win the championship to progress my career, but also a nice holiday to the Cayman Islands is icing on the cake. You know, on land there's plenty to do, lots of different foods to try, and yeah, the whole Caribbean experience, the barbecue on the beach and rum and cocktails of an evening is quite appealing.
When I first discovered that they did this sponsorship, I thought it was so cool. I was wondering if there was any kite surfing, have some good times in the water, it'd be amazing. They have like 200 plus restaurants, local cuisines. I think it's amazing.
Since my girlfriend found out that there's a holiday along with the championship, I think if I didn't take her, I'd be in a lot of trouble. She's going to be enjoying the nice beaches. I'm going to be doing some diving. Apparently it's like 365 dive sites, so I'm going to try to hit up as many of those as I can. I'm very much looking forward to it, if I win the championship, that is.
The Cayman Islands prize is a great motivation. There's so much adventure to do there. Obviously there's a jungle and diving, or on a boat cruising around. You see the water there, massive visibility. So it does look like a really good place to have an adventure.
So that's just a few of the activation videos that we created. And the numbers there you see on Facebook are just through our channels. They're not, when you add the numbers from their channels, the reach is actually significant. That's just for those 3 videos, but we're dripping information through them all of the time. And in terms of activation, it goes into the on event as well. So there's pictures there. You know, we've got our hot air balloon out there. We've got our mascot, Sir Turtle. We've got Sevens rugby shirts, and we've the Olympics at the moment. So I put a picture of Chris Thompson there, who won the Cayman Islands half marathon back in 2019. He's out in Tokyo at the moment, about to run the marathon for Team GB, and has committed to come, assuming nothing goes wrong, to run the marathon again in Cayman at the end of this year. And later in September, we've got the Visit Cayman Islands Sundowner 5K in Richmond. So I'd love to see as many of you there as possible. And there's a bit of a sneak preview of the Team Cayman shirt that we are going to give to anybody that Kate lets us know is running for Team Cayman. So these are just a few pictures just to show that there's quite a lot going on behind the scenes. But in terms of the travel trade, and I'm about to pass over to Irene to have a few words, but the travel trade in various different markets across Europe is either really, really strong, or actually it's more of an independent market where people book direct. But whatever the case, so Germany, for example, is extremely strong in the travel trade and quite traditional in that respect. But regardless of that, they are a massive influence in people's sort of, perspective on where to travel. And we need to absolutely spend our time and strengthen our booking channels with as many tour operators as possible, and educate their staff and let them know exactly all of the key things of why people should come to Cayman. And even though it has been really difficult for anyone in our team to visit anybody face to face, I have to say that Irene has done a fantastic job in 2020, probably seeing more people virtually than ever before. So partly that's because they've got a bit of time, but partly because we're doing a great job in getting the name out there. So I'm just going to pass it over to Irene to just say a few extra words.
Hi again. I'm going to be brief, but I'm going to show you a little bit of what we usually do in terms of trade relationships. So as Adrian mentioned, we work face-to-face with tour operators and travel agents. At the moment, the face-to-face means usually via Zoom or Teams or something similar, but still. In normal circumstances, one of the main things I do is attending trade events and roadshows. So let's say I go to a place where it's organized, and maybe me and other representatives from different destinations gather and meet with different, it could be travel agents or tour operators. So usually there's quite a few of them in the UK, but also it means sometimes that I have to go to continental Europe. So I've been to France. No, sorry, I've been to Luxembourg. Yeah, I've been to France. I've been to, I can't even remember. I've been to Luxembourg, Germany, of course. And yeah, we had many plans for last year, but of course things changed dramatically. But because everything went online, it meant that actually, although it's not the same, I got to attend virtual events for different markets from home. So it meant that actually I met quite a few people that otherwise it could have been much difficult to meet in person. So, I attended webinars for the Spanish market, Italian market, Scandinavian market. It's just me. So at times, I have to prioritize. So it was actually, of course, it was really hard, but it has some positives as well. Other thing that I do is organizing and escorting fun trips for these travel agents or product managers. Product managers are the ones that actually create the holidays. So the ones who decide which hotels they're going to sell, which destinations they're going to sell. So it's very important for me that they know the destination, that they understand the destination, and all the things that the Cayman Islands have to offer. So it's very important that not only I train them, but at times, not all of them, but a few of them have the possibility to travel with us to the Cayman Islands for a few days and see all the hotels and all the amazing attractions we have. Also, part of the training strategy is an online training program. So we have, let's say, a website where agents can go and they can learn about the Cayman Islands at their own pace with, say, similar to PowerPoint, but it's not. It's more complex, and you have different resources and videos and images and a lot of information about how to sell it and maps and things like that. And as Adrian said, we have a big focus on the UK. Sorry, someone's calling. I don't know why. We have a big focus in the UK. Obviously, there's a big connection, and also because of the flights. But also, it's very important to open new markets. So, since February 2019, sorry, yes, 2019. Oh my God, yes.
2020.
2020 was it? Yeah. Yeah, 2020. We have a representation agency in Germany that help us and pretty much do what I do, but in Germany, Switzerland, or German Switzerland, and Austria. So they were not very lucky because they started the 1st of February. We took them to Cayman for a few days, so they know the destination firsthand. And as soon as we came back, well, you know what happened, right? So it was a bit of a challenge for everyone and more for them, but still they did an amazing job. And same as me, they've been doing a lot of things online. It's true that because a lot of tour operators and travel agencies have been struggling, some were on furlough, some were closed for a few months. At times it was difficult, but still they've managed to do a great job. And there are more and more German travel companies wanting to sell the Cayman Islands, which is really, really good. So just so you saw some of the pictures of the things that I used to do and I'm going to do again very soon. Hopefully from September, I start going, let's say, I'll be on the road again, being careful. But yeah, so here you can see some of the trainings and workshops that I usually do, and webinars. This is more like the trade show format. So usually it's more like one-on-one meetings and people that maybe you didn't have a meeting with, but they can pop up and ask you about the destination. This one was WTM in London, probably you've heard about it. But also we have attended other ones, for example, Top Relesa in Paris, sorry. And in this year, hopefully we are attending ILTM, which is a similar trade show, but more focused with a focus on the luxury travel. And there's some images of the farm trip we've done before the pandemic. As you can see, people are very happy when they visit the Cayman Islands. They absolutely love it. And finally, some images about how the online training looks like. So you can see we have different modules, and they need to pass some quizzes for each model. And once they finish, if they've done well, they get a certificate. And yeah, finally, I forgot, also times, especially during the last year or so, I've been working a little bit more on the collateral. So we've renewed some of the old collateral we had, and also I'm Spanish, as I said, and I speak other European languages. So this helped to actually produce multilingual brochures as well, that will help us also promote the destination and open other markets in Europe. And that's it. I won't speak more because I can speak a lot. And
thank you, Irene. That's wonderful. So yes, we're nearly there. So thank you. But the one thing that's really, really important to us is obviously to, as I said, keep that narrative going. And the best thing to do with that is getting basically building up our database. So we regularly go out to both the travel trade and also the direct consumer with emails, telling them what's going on. Right now, it's largely informational about the phased opening approach. But there's also lots of opportunities that we do to come to some of our events or win prizes and learn, more importantly, learn more about Cayman. So whether that's on the social media side or on the traditional newsletter side. So yeah, that's pretty much it in summary. We know we have a bit of a challenge to go, but we know that our product of brand Cayman is absolutely fantastic. And once we build more video content and editorial content and get it out there, we know that we have a proposition that people probably at the moment consider a hidden gem. And people are looking for hidden gems at the moment: safe, secure, beautiful hidden gem. Apart from that, getting some more aviation partners on board and building up sports tourism to get rugby, cricket, maybe even hockey, football teams over to Cayman at both a school level and a professional level is absolutely on our agenda. And yeah, lastly, it's just to thank you guys for all of your support, because word of mouth is still the most important advertising tool that we have. And having you guys to actually love and talk about Cayman and liking and sharing the stuff that we do, but that will help us in a massive way. So thank you, and yeah, open to any questions. So yeah, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Adrian. Thank you. That was a really, really great insight into what you're doing and all the exciting things. And I'm not supposed to say it, but definitely one of my favorite teams.
You can say it.
I've always been in that team.
Absolutely one of, and that's really, and there's so many exciting things that we can jump on board with and help share with you. And you've answered a couple of questions that are coming through already just in your last few words there, which one of them was how can we help, what can we do, and I think obviously you've touched on us engaging with your social media, sharing your social media. Obviously, positive word of mouth goes without saying, but also understanding, what's happening in terms of Cayman overseas and how we can talk about that and how we can share that news. So that's brilliant. So we'll always be encouraging people to like and share and get involved with your activities from our end. So absolutely. We also had a question about sports tourism, triathlons, long distance swims, and any thoughts on cultural tourism. I know that you touched on some sports tourism, but do you want to add anything to that?
Yes, so we want to get as many people to come over, whether at both a professional level and also a grassroots level, to come and tour Cayman. So we're a massive advocate of the running at the moment. So we will be setting up a virtual Cayman Marathon for people who can't make it to Cayman this year. So I would, and there will be a virtual Visit Cayman Islands 5K, 10K, half marathon and full marathon. And there will be prizes to come to Cayman, flights and accommodation, which to the greater world is obviously very, very appealing. But we want to be able to use that site also to promote Cayman as a destination rather than it just being a functional site. But if you go back to all of those pillars, whether it's from culinary, art, wellness, music, activities, and nature, we want to be dialing those up and getting people involved. But back to the sports, and specifically swimming, we've tied up with the Great Swim, who also do the Great North Run and the Great South Run. So we are looking at getting people connected in their passions and then connecting them with where we can deliver that on islands or on the islands.
That's brilliant.
And where it doesn't already exist, then we're hoping to have Cayman as a platform to allow an international event to take place in Cayman, and then hopefully build up a profile from that. So triathlon actually has been pitched to me. It's just I guess it's a big PGA golf event and a number. Well, the thing is, as soon as you get involved in one sport, you get every sport coming to you. And I believe me, I've had every sport coming to me. And so have my team when I don't answer them and they go to somebody else in the team. So I would say that we are definitely on the map on the sports scene, and it's just about a matter of when and where that we can fit it in. But one of the things which is really exciting for me is the schools rugby tournament, School Sevens rugby tournament. For those people that follow rugby, there's a School Sevens tournament that is held at Richmond Park in West London. That is going to be becoming international, and it's going to be held in Cayman. So we're just going through the processes of initially having about 12 teams come over, and then that might rise to 20 or more, and involve some of the Cayman teams as well. But yes, it's very exciting. We're going to be getting London Irish coming over, and we're going to be getting a number of, we're talking to a football team at the moment who've won the FA Cup to come over, their first team, not an under 23s team or anything. There's a lot going on. If anyone has connections that they feel can help, either in Cayman or over here, then please let me know, because the more people that we can get a Cayman connection, as it were, to the events that we do, the better.
Great, amazing. There's quite a bit of chat here in the chat about cultural tourism as well, and a lot of the tangible cultural heritage sites and promotions that can be done, and mention of Cayman Arts Festival and those kinds of things as well. I know that over the years that quite a bit's been done, but there's chat of that. I don't know if there's anything that you wanted to add to that.
Other than it's absolutely on our radar, the cultural side and the art side are something that we want to dial up. So those people, again, this is preaching to the converted, as it were, but there's those people that know nothing, and therefore we need to show the colour of Cayman. And the arts absolutely are a vehicle for us to do that, in all sense of the word art. And for me, it's about finding the right vehicle over here and in Europe that people take a notice of, to give us an opportunity to showcase our offering. So we are looking at that in just the same ways, in the sense we're looking at sports tourism. In a sense, we're the team that want to show off. And who are we showing off? We're showing off Cayman. So the more people that can be that face of Cayman, the better for us. Whether that's music, whether that's stage, whether that's craft, whether it's sport, we want to show you all off in the nicest possible way.
Well, that's a nice segue. I've just got a nice a couple of more chats here, and we've got from Kimberly, who I think might be working, may not be able to speak, but just shout if you can, see if she's at work. So she just says, hi Adrian, thank you so much for all the fantastic work that you and your team have been doing to showcase our beautiful home. And I think we can all say that, and we all feel that. She said she wanted to introduce herself and share that she's one of the Miss Cayman Islands Universe pageant contestants, and she would really love to utilize the title and exposure for marketing purposes. Is it something currently being explored or implored? But perhaps that's a conversation you can have.
Certainly happy to have a conversation in the future, and certainly I would love to invite her to and many of the people on here to some of our events. Right at the moment, though, are we doing anything in that side? No, but that doesn't mean that we can't in the future.
So excited about the virtual marathon, by the way, and I'm glad you've mentioned Team Cayman, because we've got a nice little number of Team Cayman people getting together. We've got 15 on our team at the moment, so and growing.
Oh, great.
So it's good. It's a nice mix, and everyone's really excited about it. We've got quite a few people who wanting to get off the couch, so to speak, and not really having a goal. And this has been a really great goal for them, and it's a great opportunity for us to get together as Caymanians overseas and do something together that's physical. So thank you so much for that. Really looking forward to that.
Just to explain a little bit more about the Sundown 5K, there will be music, food, rum bar, the hot air balloon will be there. If I can convince Vicky after last weekend to still do the turtle racing game, with some help, we've got a turtle racing game for which has been very popular with all age groups, but especially the young ones last weekend when we did an event. So it'll be a bit of fun, and 5K you can walk it or you can run it, but it's not about being the best sportsman.
Yeah, and it's a family-friendly event. You can all come to and just have a bit of fun and support.
Absolutely.
Exactly. That's so. Yeah. So we had a few people saying, "I'd love to come, but I just don't run." I said, "Come anyway.
Come anyway.
Just walk, support, do anything really fun." So that's really great. And then hopefully some of those runners might continue on to do the virtual marathon. It'd be interesting, or elements of it. So that's really.
And you get a great T-shirt as well.
And you get a great T-shirt. Fantastic. I'm just checking through some of my questions that I've received and having a little look and making sure. I do have Eagle Eye Rita, who will always help me if I've missed a question.
I think I've tried to cover as
it looks like the team have been answering. It looks all. Oh, I know, it was about the courses. So Know Your Cayman Islands courses. So the courses that were being referred to were trade focused courses, but still are talking about learning about the Cayman Islands. And I think a question would be, I know that the head office do one as well, which I did one. So they have a couple of the cultures. Are they still doing those? Because you can do those as well, like know your culture and know your islands.
I'm not sure if CIG have still got anything on the go at the moment.
Okay.
In terms of
We'll
that.
see.
But like I was saying to
Rita,
Rita, there's no problem in us sharing the link for the online travel training program for anyone that would just like to have a bit of fun, see if they can answer questions about their own country. And as I said to Rita, and also to sort of see what's important for us to push forward to the trade. Yeah. Some of the things that might come up in those modules and those questions might not be what might come to your mind straight away as something that's relevant to somebody booking a holiday. So I think there could be some insight there, and I think there could be a bit of fun to see how well you score.
Yeah, great.
So Kate, what I'll do is we'll share that with you to share with your members.
We could share it. Yeah, we could maybe do something around that. Brilliant. Okay. So we are approaching the top of the hour, nearly 6 o'clock. I just want to give anyone, yes, we're all ambassadors. Rita said that, absolutely.
Just to answer one other question, I think it was Rita's question actually, but on the chat, sorry, I haven't read most of them because I was doing all the talking, but I think the point is that you guys are the ambassadors. So the likes of Iggy Pop, I think it was that you mentioned, yes, they're a name who happens to live there, but actually our focus is to showcase Caymanians, if possible, or people who have been living there for, not necessarily, living there for 25, 30 years as such, who are almost Caymanian, I guess. But I'd rather be showcasing them than imports, because that's what that's what our target market, they want to see. They want to have a real, authentic local experience, and know that they've gone somewhere and not just gone to another part of the country that they already live in.
Yeah, thank you, Adrian, for that too. I did mention 2 Caymanian names also, and that are celebrities, and I just wondered where they fit. Yes. Salita, Grace Keeley. I mean, we have other well-known people. I wonder where they fit. I mean, the North American market, I think, well, Salita already, she did the Dream in Cayman campaign. She was one of the models. But I just wondered how, in utilizing people like that, how would that fit? Would that be a good fit? Are people interested in that in this region, or is it less about that and more? You mentioned boutique hotels and smaller, more unique experiences. Do they like the celebrity sort of thing? Because we do have Caymanian celebrities as well.
I think to answer your question, it's a bit of both. Cayman Cookout, for example, has a whole host of American chefs that most Brits don't know. And the same goes with the celebrities you're talking about. If your peer group here have heard of them, then yes, it's of benefit. But if they haven't, then it's our job to help elevate them and be spokespeople and be ambassadors. But I'm just as genuinely interested in people who aren't necessarily famous, but are very good at what they do. It's the authentic local story that is just as valuable to me as the famous Caymanian that has actually made it in fashion, or in other ways. But if we're talking to some of the musicians at the moment, so Maeve, Ariana, and Danny Lutz, and I couldn't think of anything better for them to really make it, because sure. That will help add a face that people might recognize. Equally yourself, Rita, and it's sort of like saying, yes, people who have made it in their professional life outside of Cayman, yes, they are important, but it's not defining our strategy. People, I just keep coming back to it.
That makes sense. That totally makes sense. Just wondering, because I think I mean, don't quote me on this. I don't work in tourism, but I would imagine that in the US, or in the US market or with the US team, that might be quite important to use.
I think it's probably more important for them than it is for us. But
yes, which is what
people do talk to me about Michael Holding, who isn't Caymanian, and could you use him? And I said, well, not really, because he's not Caymanian. So that probably, yes, he's very famous from the cricket world, and obviously it's the cricket season at the moment, but I would rather have a spokesperson who is Caymanian that I can use, that maybe people may go, oh, I really like so and so, and I want to go to that farm or that restaurant because of the local flavour and not necessarily the imported flavour, and that's what's more important to us in Europe than it is to the American market.
Yeah, fantastic.
Makes sense. Great.
We have lots of people we can give you.
Excellent.
Yes, exactly.
Lots,
And
just tell us. I do casting all
absolutely.
the time. So Kimberly is now, she's casting people right now. Samuel, you just tell us what you need.
Exactly.
Believe me, I will be in touch.
Brilliant. Well, I think that's it. I think we're here for you and you're here for us, and that is a fantastic Cayman connection. And I reiterate everything that everyone said here. Thank you so much for all you do, and we will share and do what we can to enhance what you're doing. And thanks for taking the time out today past your work hours, and it's really, really appreciated. And we're going to do so much more together, and I can't wait for the fun run. So as I thank you everybody for coming along.
Yeah,
thank
sorry
you
we took up your whole meeting time.
This was
Thank
great.
you.
Really,
Thanks
really
very
lovely.
much.
I wish you a
Thank
lovely
you.
evening, and we'll see you soon.
Take
Thanks,
care.
Kate. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.